So, Killian, I want to ask you, with all the advancements we have seen with hair loss medications, there are quite a few available now. Do you think it's possible for a young man who's notices hair loss to avoid a hair transplant completely now?
It's complex because it has to do as well with what one wants. And I think that we live in a time period with Instagram and being bombarded with male beauty that the standards are so abnormally high that the man will always want a transplant. I think it's problematic. And I think that, and I might sound like a hypocrite because I've had so many, but when you've had so many, you reflect. And the desire to have this beautiful, immaculate, perfect hairline is what everyone wants. But the standard is so high now that it's like medication isn't enough. And I think we need to go back to what's natural. And I think certainly that if we currently, because it's so available to get either finasteride or minoxidil and use both, ultimately, that through education on YouTube and awareness, that a guy can literally come right now when he has the very smallest signs of hair loss, provided that he's, you know, researched the topic and educated himself in time and is perceptive, and start these therapies and essentially put a hair transplant way, way, way into the future. I think that Mother Nature will always take its course. And because you can't halt the condition, you can only slow it down. That and inevitably one day, yes, he will need a hair transplant, possibly. He might really want one, but it's way into the future.
I completely agree. I think that it depends on the patient is the answer. I think
Mm.
that the patient with very minor loss who's not destined to lose too much hair can absolutely avoid a hair transplant with the current medications we have. Do I think, though, that those 16, 17-year-olds that reach out to me that are already Norwood 3 on the Norwood classification scale with significant family histories of hair loss where their dad, their brothers, their grandparents, granddads are completely bald, I again, I believe that they will be able to delay a hair transplant, but not avoid one entirely. I think
Mhm.
that, where that, for example, that example patient of a 16-year-old who's Norwood 3, where he might have needed a hair transplant at age 25 without medications, he could now push that to 35, 40. There's
Mm.
no doubt
Mm.
he'll push it into the future. But I don't think hair transplant surgery is going anywhere necessarily. I just think that less of them probably will be performed because of how good medications are.